All right, everybody, welcome to day, what is it? Day 9 of our Forex trading journey together. As you can see right there, I have been waiting, patiently waiting for an opportunity to come about for the markets to come back into play for us. And luckily, we have indeed that particular opportunity. Now, I just wanted to go ahead and just write down my equity right here. What we had gone ahead and started off with was believed it was about $132. I'm not going to necessarily worry about the cents right now, but yeah, today we've seen that we had our buy arrow right here. Let me go ahead and just kind of mark that up for everybody. Let me grab my pen. All right, there it is. Okay, buy arrow is right there. And because of that, as you also saw, and if you need to go back to the first seconds of the video, that's absolutely perfect. But we went ahead and we made sure that our highest sell trade that was in profit. We went ahead and we essentially took that out of the market. We essentially closed that sell positions. So in turn, we can go ahead and open a buy position. And as we move forward throughout this particular strategy, there are going to be very similar situations to this. We've already seen, I believe, a couple of them already as we've gone through the past couple of days here. So today, we definitely did not see an exception to that particular rule. Other than that, I feel like today is going to be an absolutely great day so far. We are going to have a limited time together, my friends. I do have a very, 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 very important seminar that's coming up. I've mentioned these two gentlemen's names multiple times today, Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins. I've met, and today at around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that's about 7:30 a.m. my time. I will be venturing off to the Mastermind World Summit 2022. Very, very, very excited. I'm going to be able to gain even more knowledge and wisdom in what I'm currently doing in order to make myself a better teacher for everybody here. I've talked about this so many times already, where I need to, in order for me to be a great teacher, I have to make sure that my student energy and my master energy are blended all in one form. And so, I've been really, really, very, very proud of myself. I'm not going to pat myself on the back. I'm not, I don't want to sound too arrogant, but I'm grateful of the journey or the opportunity that I have been able to deliver my what we call master energy out to everybody. However, now I need to go ahead and channel in my student energy a little bit more. And that's not to say that I don't already do that. I do whenever I have an opportunity to, I do study a little bit about the subjects I'm interested in. No, it's not just forex trading that I'm interested in. I also go I'm a very big proponent of astrology. We don't have to get into it too much during this conversation, but I do study on that. I study on a few different things that could help me improve in some of the concepts that I'm teaching. So always wanting to teach, always wanting to learn. That is the definition of making sure that the student energy and the master energy are at balance. So as we can see, we're in this particular trade. And normally for the rules in this particular sector, there's not necessarily a pip counter that we're going to be going after in this scenario because we really closed out a sell trade. Our advantage, some people may call it disadvantage, but our advantage is we're really just waiting for a signal to tell us, okay, we need to put a sell trade back on here because we're moving in an uptrend and because we don't necessarily need to open a new buy position, rather close an old sell position, we have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more free reign on this particular trade. So I'm not necessarily going to look for a particular pip counter on this trade. More so, I'm going to look for a signal to end the trade that we're currently in and ultimately get us out of the margin that we find ourselves currently under. And so that could either be a signal from my tools telling us to get out of the market, Or another option is I can go ahead and I would be able to just put a kibosh on the what I like to call the trade once that 7:30 hour rolls around. So we've already seen that the buy arrow has turned into a now buy tech. So that's definitely great news for us, understanding that we are moving forward in the buy direction itself. So that's absolutely perfect, absolutely beautiful that we are going in there. So we're ultimately just gonna we're gonna hang out and just let this particular trade play out for us. And again, whether it is a positive trade, whether it is a negative trade, the market will tell us what it is going to do, and we are ultimately going to follow. Now, we could see that the buy arrow has now moved over into the next candle, or not this candlestick. So it basically, the arrow, as we could see, kind of went from here over to here. So we're going to be looking to place a trade right in this particular vicinity unless the market tells us otherwise to not do that. But we are going to wait for that candle to close, which will happen in the next 4 minutes. So with that being said, figure we'd go ahead and we take this time while we wait. And I'll show you what will happen once we get into that scenario where we have to enter in a new buy position or buy stake, so to speak. But what I am going to go ahead and do while we wait for this is I do want to talk about some of the we talked about some of the freedom facts from Unshakable. Believe we've gone over the first 4 freedom facts already. There's still a few more things I want to go over with everybody while we have the time together in order to go ahead and do that. So I want to go ahead and point out now freedom fact number 5. Now, freedom fact number 5. Historically, let me try that again. Historically, I got my eyes on the timer right here as well. So I got, a few things in that I'm keeping an eye on, which is absolutely perfect. I'd rather me be the one having to captain all this than making everyone here worry about that. That's not fair. Let me do that. Let me steer the ship for everybody so we can move forward in the right direction. Historically, bear markets have happened every 3 to 5 years. Now, what does that mean for us? Right now we are, moving in a direction where and it really just goes back to the fact that, we have to be adaptable, whether that is we have to look for opportunities in a bullish market to take buy opportunities, or whether that's us needing to go ahead and we get into a bear market and we take sell opportunities. The great thing about Forex trading, which is absolutely different from the stock market, which is different from even crypto trading in a sense. And, we are going to talk about more of these things as we move forward throughout the journey together, both you and I. However, what we need to understand is that the free financial freedom that we gain, the ability that we get in this market is we can go ahead and play both sides. We can play both the buyer and the seller in this beautiful opportunity that we have. Now, history doesn't repeat itself in this situation. There's not an actual identical clone in the financial markets as opposed to, similar clones that you find in other, relative examples of history. We're not going to get into that. That's not important, but it does rhyme. And so bear markets don't last. They vary widely in duration from a month and a half to to nearly 2 years. I mean, we saw in recent examples the pandemic, right? We can consider ourselves that we were in a bullish market for a while, and really since I would say November, right around there, we have been in a particular bearish market for a while. A lot of people don't want to admit it. A lot of people don't want to necessarily say that we have been in a bear market, especially the stock market people. They really don't want to say that because people, when they hear bear market, it's like, oh, we got to get out of the market. We got to keep going. And then that just creates a perpetual cycle of prices going down. But what you have to understand is that these markets really don't last forever. In fact, what we as the investors need to do is, again, we had the advantage, right, of buying and selling. So we can make money no matter which way the direction goes. But what we have to understand is that and by the way, that last candle did indeed close. So I'm just going to get myself into another buy position by taking another sell trade that's in profit and closing that out. So going back to what we as the traders need to do is all we have to do is we need to understand that we're going to be able to move forward in any direction the market sees fit, whether it needs to be a bull market or a bear market. But we also have to understand that that particular direction is not going to last forever. We can see ourselves getting into a buy trade, and that's great. But that doesn't mean we're going to keep looking for buy trades forever. Ultimately, we are going to need to understand we need to look for the sell, and vice versa. The market is not going to go down forever. It's not going to be a bear market forever. We're not going to look for sell trades forever. We ultimately do need to look for a buy trade at one point or another. And it's okay, right? And it's definitely, as we move forward, it's okay to be wrong on a particular trade. I've been wrong already 2 times already. I don't mean to necessarily pat myself on the back. Day 3 and day 4 were indeed losses, but we have to understand there are losses. This could be a loss right here. It's the trade's going great from our perspective, right? However, that could always be a different story, and we just need to understand that that situation can indeed happen to us. Now, the most successful investors, the ones that are in the stock market, that are doing the forex, the crypto, all that stuff, all these investors take advantage of all the fear and gloom. So, for example, when we talk about the fear and gloom, people not necessarily wanting to get into these markets, people wanting to go ahead and just say, you know what, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. Goodbye. See you later. Like those particular types of people. Well, not to downplay on them, of course. I can certainly understand where they're coming from, that I can sympathize with them. That trepidation, that fear of, oh, I just got killed in the stock market. Oh, I just got killed in this investment. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like that, I can't sympathize with them because, sure, there are times where I've gotten killed in this market and it's been not a nice feeling, right? But we're still here. That is the difference. But I can certainly sympathize with where they're coming from. Now, going back to these successful investors, they use these tumultuous periods to invest more money at bargain prices. The best opportunities come in times of maximum pessimism. And that's what we're doing right here. We are taking advantage of what we see going on in the market, what we see and again, the leaders in this particular market are the hedge funds. I'm sorry, not the hedge funds, the banks, the government banks, the central banks, and then there's the hedge funds, and there's the institutional traders, and then there's us. So there's 4 levels to this. But all we're doing is we're just following the leader. We're going along with them in the direction they want to go. And so far, they have not the banks, the government banks, and the central banks, from what I can see on my account, have not steered me wrong yet. We have been moving forward in the right direction. And again, can this change? Can this be a situation where we end up taking a loss here? Of course. We always have to prepare for, hey, not every trade is going to win. Do we want that to happen? No. Of course, I desire to see this trade win, but I'm also not going to be in a sense of, as we had talked about, we're not going to hold on to our losers. We're not going to play under that circle of anxiety that can kill you in this market. We're not going to do that. And so when the mood in the market is overwhelmingly bleak or even overwhelmingly positive, super investors such as Buffett and countless others that we've talked about already tend to view this as a positive sign that better times lie ahead. And I think that's so important in terms of not just a mindset for trading, mind you, a mindset for investing. It's a mindset that you can have in general. to be able to be super positive about things when life isn't so great is such a unique gift, a unique ability that it should not be taken lightly. I don't know. I am a very I like to believe that I am an internal optimist, even with all the dark stuff that has happened in my life. And I think of that as more so a favor, a gift from the universe than anything else. Because it is, with every, all the money in the world, all the passion in the world, all the friends in the world, they can't beat a positive attitude. They can't beat a internal optimist attitude because the only person that truly matters in this game is you. You're the person that matters as you move forward and as you collect on these trades and as we keep going on this journey together. You're the guy that's doing this. You're the guy that's showing you're showing yourself to the world as, hey, I can do this. I can keep going. I can keep moving forward. And the more that we tell ourselves that we can move forward in the right direction, the better. Even as this trade, as we see that candle right there now just leapfrog to this candle right here. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see if we get ourselves into another buy position. But again, what we're really looking for is a matter of the fact is we're doing this. And no one is necessarily going to take away the fact that we are moving forward in this path together, day by day, step by step. And so having that optimist, that positive mindset can only help you as we start to keep growing this account and as we start to or as we continue to take the trades and learn the strategies that we need to move forward in the right direction. All of you guys, I'm super confident that you're going to have, as I had said before, all of you guys are going to have your own strategy on what I'm doing, right? I have I had some very excellent teachers that taught me the path. I don't want to, we can go into a list if we want, but, I will say that a lot of teachers have helped me collectively be able to do the strategy that I'm teaching everyone here. And with that being said, you're going to have your own strategy that you're going to pass on. And I would be ever so grateful if you did have that strategy that says, hey, because I showed somebody how to do this, someone said, hey, I can do it just a little bit better and tweak it a little bit better and improve the strategy a little bit better. I would love if you guys did that. Because I am and I'm sorry, my alarm just went off, my timer. But I would love to see you guys be able to come up with something that's like, whoa, this is absolutely amazing. And I'd love to learn from you because again, that is where the student and the master dynamic molded together. That is how you become a great teacher, right? So moving on from our positive attitude, a similar pattern is seen when it comes to consumer confidence, which is a measure of how optimistic or pessimistic consumers feel about the future. These periods of consumer pessimism are often the ideal time to invest, right? So again, this is more so a lot more of the stock market scenario, but as far as what we have as an advantage, we could take advantage of either both the optimistic side or the pessimistic side. Because again, what we have is a unique opportunity, and I harbor on this because I believe it's super important to understand, is that we have the opportunity to be able to make money either when prices go up or prices go down. right? Let's move that here. And let me go ahead and just pay attention to this candle. It says about 5 seconds left. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a buy position now. So we just did that. So we're now in our, so right now we've got technically 3 open buy trades at this moment. As you can see, that is the case with our 3 buy trades. Remember, we had closed the 2 sell trade positions that we were in profit. Now for this third scenario right here, because again, we had seen the arrow come to this candle, and now this candle, right? So that's the those are the 3 trades that are taking place right now. And again, we are just waiting to see what the market will tell us. Hey, this is what's going to happen right here. This, the market's going to tell us that, not myself. The market will allow us to do what we need to do in order to move forward. So as far as this consumer pessimism or optimism, we have the advantage of being able to take both sides of the equation. We can be the bear, we can be the bull. We can play both sides, have the opportunity to make money either way. And the beautiful thing about it is that our strategy also dictates that even if we are wrong, we can make sure that we are in the right direction to protect our fuel, which is the equity. And so the next thing I want to talk about is, let's talk now about freedom fact number 6. Bear markets become bull markets and pessimism becomes optimism, right? Just think about it like this, right? This is really important now. The stock market isn't looking at today. Now we're looking at today, but that's not what the stock market, that's not what some of these major players are looking at. The market always looks to tomorrow. And what matters most isn't where the economy is right now, but where it's headed. When everything seems terrible, the pendulum eventually swings in the other direction. Every single bear market in US history has been followed by a bull market without exception, right? So yes, we've been taking a lot of sell trades and we've been making a lot of money out of sell trades, right? And that's because there's been a lot of pessimism right now with the banks, government, central banks. And again, everyone follows the leader. But we've got talks of inflation. We've got supply chain issues. We've got a potential recession on our hands. I'm not trying to scare anybody. All right, that's not this is not, I am not the fear monger, okay? But that's what you do hear about, right? And so the market has been going down because of all this fear and pessimism that's going on. And we've been able to capitalize based off of that. Now, at the same time, these bear markets that we see, they are ultimately going to be bull markets for us. Instead of people being panicked about inflation, they're going to be optimistic about what lies ahead in the future. We're going to be able to heal from this economic damage that we've been seeing over this year so far. And so everything does end up going up, just like everything ultimately has to come down at some point. It's a swing effect. We most of the time it does go up, but we also have to see a little bit of these downturns right here, right? Higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. It's the nature of the game. And so what we get to do is that we get to actually take this freedom fact, right? And we ultimately also, we get the opportunity to have it on the other side of things. We get to go vice versa in these situations. Bull markets become bear markets. And optimism becomes pessimism. Now, I don't say this because I want people to lose their skin in stock market, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. No, I want everybody to win. Whether you're a stock market trader, whether you're a crypto trader, whether you're into the NFTs, the metaverse, the universe, the verse, the whole other thing. We've got so many awesome, amazing passions out there, and I want everyone to be financially successful, financially free. However, what I understand in my own industry that I'm wanting to teach is that the reason I even bring this up is because, again, we have the opportunity to play both sides of the coin, right? And then, of course, we can use this opportunity to come back into the market because I do believe that everything ultimately goes up. It moves forward in the right direction, right? Everything goes up. However, if we can understand that we could play both sides of the coin and be able to make money both ways, then we're always good. We have more opportunities to be in the investment game than anyone else that's doing this. That right there is powerful. That right there allows us to take advantage of the opportunity that lies before us. And again, there are times where we're going to be right about these things, and there are going to be times where we're going to be wrong. So far, I'm not going to lie. It's not looking we are in a little bit of a negative balance compared to when I first started today, but I know that, and that's absolutely fine. We're still up from where we started. That's all I care about. And so if this trade ultimately turns into a loss, so be it. But again, until then, I do believe that is ultimately a winner unless proven otherwise. Right there, we have seen now that the arrow has moved into this next candle right here. So let's see how this trade closes out before we look into taking another opportunity here. So I'm just going to keep my eyes on that. But yeah, that's really all that is that we pay attention to both this right here and we pay attention to this right here and this right here because we want to, because it allows us to stay in the game. Now, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient, if we think about it. We've been patient in our opportunities based on waiting for a sign from our tool to allow us to get into the market. And we've been following this particular tool because it will allow us to make sure that we are moving forward in the right direction. Now, a lot of us may get out of the market at this particular time, and that's fine. You have your own exit strategy. A lot of traders have their own exit strategies. I'm not here to discuss whether they're right or whether they're wrong, but this strategy right here allows me to stay patient, even if this is not the greatest opportunity for me right now. And because of that, the money that comes from the financial markets, the Forex and everything, what I look for because I am patient, but I'm also smartly patient in understanding what my exit strategy is, I can understand when I'm good and when I need to go ahead and when I need to get out. And the fact that a market is close to its all-time high doesn't necessarily mean that there's trouble ahead, right? Right now, we could see that, price has taken a little bit of a dive based off of the highest high that was created within this period. This doesn't necessarily mean that we're ready for it to go down as of yet. Right now, this arrow, until it tells me until it disappears, is telling me that we still need to prepare for a bull market, that we still need to go ahead and wait for the trade itself to play out. And the US market generally has a upward bias. It rises over the long term because the economy continues to grow. Every period in history, right? We look to when I guess America First started, if we want to go ahead and, get into a deep dive on this particular subject, it has always been growing in a upward direction. We haven't necessarily seen the hold on, everybody. Okay, we take another buy trade. We have about 4 buy trades right now. I'm not until there's a reason for me to change the direction. I'm not changing the direction as of yet. And again, I full well know that I could potentially be wrong, and we would have to adjust for a change in the trend. But until I see that that is indeed going to take place, I will continue to cost average, right? Now, what I mean by cost average, for those that are haven't seen that particular strategy, we took our first trade here. We then cost averaged right here. Then we cost averaged right here. Then we cost averaged right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 1 primary buy trade right here, and then 3 cost average trades right here. And this is all because the arrow is still telling us that we're still in a bullish trend. Now, when price creates lower highs, when price creates higher highs and higher lows, that's the definition of a bull market. And I look at, some of the things that I could take a look at to point why I'm still in this bullish market. We still have an uptrend right here. And if that trend is broken, then of course we will adjust, right? As I've said, we will adjust if we have to, but there isn't anything telling us right now that we need to adjust at this particular moment. Okay, so going back to the economy, right? So every time we've seen, starting from when was America born? I'm gonna get I'm sure a bunch of history teachers are gonna be absolutely upset with me, but I believe the American Revolution started around 1775, and from there, all America has done is grow and grow and grow and grow. Now we're talking about population growth issues and economy growth issues, my God. But every time that it grows, it has these little dips, and then it grows and has these little dips and grows and has these little dips. And we're taking advantage of both things here as traders. We want to make sure we take advantage of the growth that's going on, but we also get to have the unique ability to be able to also become the ones that take advantage of the dips. And again, all we're doing is not necessarily, I don't want to make this rocket science, but within all these growths and dips and all that, all we're doing is just following the leader. That's what I'm doing, at least. I'm just following the leader in what they are wanting to do. Now, is there going to be a moment in time, perhaps, where we become the leaders? Sure. If we keep doing this consistently, of course. There's a track record for all these amazing traders and all these amazing hedge funds and all these amazing institutions and banks and all that. And I know that I'm just starting out in day 9 of this journey. I am 9 days into this particular trading journey with everybody. So I don't expect me to become level 1 to level 4 just like that, right? It's a process. And we document the process together so that we know, okay, this is how we do it. These are what to look out for. This is how we won. This is how we lost. This is how we adapt to a winning trade. This is how we adapt to a losing trade. And we continue to move the needle from there. Now, here's the most important freedom fact that we're going to go ahead and talk about. This is probably one where Dr. Luis Ariaza, he usually likes to quote this as saying, okay, this is where you'll need to get a mental tattoo on your forehead. And it's freedom fact number 7. The greatest danger is being out of the market. Since day one, we have been in this market together, right? Whether it is patiently waiting for an opportunity or whether it has been involved in these trades since we took those particular hedging trading situations back on day 3 and day 4. But all we've been doing since that particular point in time is that we have continued to be in the market, right? We haven't gone away from it. We haven't gotten scared from it. I'm not scared of what's happened so far. All we're doing is we're just allowing these trades to play out and play in the direction that the market is going to go in. And then as they play out, we have gone ahead and we have just followed along. The idea that a bell rings to signal when investors should get into or out of the stock market is simply not credible, right? We're trading right now before the 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time market open. We're trading before the bell goes ding, 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 ding. Everyone get into the market. No, we've been trading a little bit before. We've been trading a little bit after. We've had our consistency, mind you. I mean, we're not sure. We only trade together on this stream, on YouTube, however you want to call this. We've only been documenting this journey from the particular time periods of about 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Monday to Friday. We haven't deviated from that schedule. However, we're not trading at this particular time just because a bell tells us to, or because someone tells us this is when you need to trade. We're in the market because we want to be in the market, because we're looking at these opportunities and we want to make sure that we get into them. Sitting on the sidelines, even for short periods of time, may be the costliest mistake of all. Right now, we do sit on the sidelines in terms of, okay, we need to wait for an opportunity to come to us. But as soon as we get into it, no matter if it's a win or no matter if it's a loss, the danger is not. In fact, I'm gonna write this down. I want everyone to write this. Sitting on the sidelines. I'm watching the candles, by the way, while I'm doing this, even for short periods of time, may be the costliest mistake of all. Because no matter what happens on this trade, right? Win, lose, we will make money one way or another, right? We will. Or at least I'm confident I will, right? But for me to not be in this trade and not gain the experience needed to teach everybody, hey, this is what we're going through in terms of emotions. This is what we're going through in terms of the process. This is what I'm going through as I'm looking at these trades and I'm doing my analysis and seeing, okay, it's still a perfect time for me to still be in this trade, even if the trade itself is in more drawdown than where we started. Right? All these factors are definitely applying here. But for me to not even show everybody how this is going to work, again, whether it's a win or a loss is not the important thing here. Are we protecting our capital? That's the most important thing. And for us to just sit here on the sidelines and not even take the trade when we first saw it, well, that would not be advantageous to everybody, because it wouldn't show us, the confidence we have in the tools that we have that have been successful since the start of this day. It wouldn't show us the confidence we have in ourselves, the faith that we have in ourselves to say, hey, I see a trade, I'm going to take that trade. it wouldn't show us the fortitude to say, hey, even if we win this trade, even if we lose this trade, we know what we're going to do moving forward. We know the game plan. We've got the playbook in our hands, and we're going to wait for the opportunity to execute the next play. And you have probably heard this quote so many times, not just from me, not just in sports, but this is just a life quote. This isn't even just a trading quote or anything quote, but it does have to be stated. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just give everybody a pause right here. Right? Here's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. So here's the quote. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. This would have been a miss anyway, even if I didn't take that trade. It would have been a miss to, let me get rid of this. It would have been a miss to not show everybody what I'm going through. It would have been a miss to, oh, there's the next candle right there. So I'm going to pay attention to that. It would have been a miss to not show the experience of being in this trade when it, for lack of a better word, could be scary to everybody. It would have been a miss for me to not show what I'm going through or what the experience is like being in this situation. It would have been a miss to everyone who's listening and viewing how I'm doing this trade. Because, for me to be able to teach it in a way and be confident in my own ability and be able to still be a rock, an unshakable rock in the storm that we're in right now. I'm not saying that everybody here wouldn't be able to what's the word, be able to have the emotions to stay calm on this trade, right? I'm not saying that, but I'd rather be the guy showing you, okay, this is what we're doing. We're not panicking, right? We have our strategy, by the way. We have our exit strategy, but we're not panicking because right now we're still going ahead and we are looking to move forward in the right direction. And again, this can be a loss. This can be a loss. Do we want it to be a loss? No, I do not desire for this to be a loss. But we're still holding on and we still have our plan if we need to execute the plan. So we're going to allow this trade to play out. And that's absolutely perfect. We've still got about 40 minutes until my call. So until I need to get off, there's no reason for me to leave everybody in the dark as to what is going on. And until that arrow tells me, listen, this is not what you need to get out of this. Until that arrow disappears and says, okay, we're not in a bull market, then I'm gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. So here's the moral. If you got spooked and sold at the wrong time, or if you got spooked and bought at the wrong time, you missed out on the fabulous days that followed, which is when patient investors made almost all their profits, right? We're patient enough to stay in this trade until absolutely necessary. I have, maybe I'm not saying that this tool, right? It's not the end all be all of what I'm doing. There's other things, of course, that I'm using to make sure I'm moving forward, but I'm not panicking right now. I'm still here. I'm still waiting on these trades to progress one way or another. If I was impatient, decide, you know what, this trade isn't working, bam, 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 and close them all. And the arrow is still pointing up. And it then turned into a buy signal, and there was a massive amount of profit that I missed out on. I left money in the table. That would make me sick. And so I understand that If the arrow disappears, that's a loss. However, I am okay with sitting in this trade still, knowing that I might take a loss, because I know that I can easily make it back by just following what we've been doing for the past 10 days. And again, I need to go ahead and place a buy just because that arrow closed. So here we go. Okay, so we're in 5 open trades, 5 open buy trades. Again, just to recap where we're at. Our first trade was right here. Second trade right here. Third trade right here. Fourth trade right here. And now here's our 5th trade going on. So again, I know that this, and this, the first primary trade was just a primary buy trade. The last 4 were just cost average trades, and it's still following a uptrend still. And now we've just gone ahead and the candle has just moved to the next arrow. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and erase all this. So when that candle closes, we'll take another trade. And again, I'd rather, this is actually perfect that this is all happening, because again, I'd rather be in this situation to show everybody, hey, even though we're at this situation, I don't see any, there's nothing as of yet. And I'll show you if I'm wrong on this stream, right? We'll show everybody that, hey, this trade didn't work out. We'll close it all, right? But there is nothing yet that's telling me, hey, we need to get out. So until that point, we stay in. Market turmoil isn't something to fear. It's the greatest opportunity for you to leapfrog to financial freedom. You can't win by sitting on the bench. You have to be in the game. To put it another way, fear isn't rewarded. Courage is. And so that is what we're doing. We're being courageous in sticking to our guns until proven otherwise that we're in a buy market. And I can also understand that this may not be something that people are easily going to be able to digest, especially if you're looking at this at, if this is your first day, right? For example, and you're looking at what I'm doing, it's like, what the hell is this guy doing? That would be the reaction if I was just seeing somebody on my first day, just wanting to see, hey, I'm interested. Let me check out the most recent video that this guy has put out. Whoa, that's a lot of drawdown. Like, what is going on? I don't know if I want to do this. And that's where I tell people, hey, always start at day 1 of my journey and then go through the process. Because this is day 9. This was not built in just a day. This was built over the previous 8 days of me working on my trades. And so I'm responsible for the results that I put out from day 1 to day 8, and I'm responsible for what's happening on day 9. And that gives me a lot of power to understand that I choose to still be in this trade because I still have the tools that I have telling me it is okay to still be in the direction that I am at right now. And of course, as we move forward throughout this day, there could be a chance. There can be. I'm not saying that there isn't a chance that this could go the other way, but until I'm told, like, you need to stop this direction, we don't need to stop. The message is clear. The greatest danger to your financial health isn't a market crash. It's being out of the market. In fact, one of the most fundamental rules for achieving long-term financial success is that you need to get in the market and stay in it so you can capture all of its gains. What we don't want to do is just stand here and wait for something, right? See, it's still going down. I'm still right here. Nothing is telling me yet to get out. Right? Our equity is still up from when we still started this journey, right? There's going to be ebbs and flows as we do this. and we better get used to it. So we're going to be okay. Again, this candle is about to close here in about 3, 2, 1. Take a buy right here. So what is that right now? Let's see how many trades that is right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open trades. 6 open trades. So let's take a look. First trade was right here. That was the primary. This was the cost average. 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 And here's another one right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're still here. We're still here. And it looks like our candle just moved again. So that will be another trade that we, as soon as the candle closes, we'll think about getting into. Again, it is all about having the courage to stay in until one of our confirmations gets knocked over. We're still seeing that we're in a upward trend right here. You know, I'm looking at, I believe the exit plan, this is what I'm thinking based on what the scalper is telling me. The exit plan is going to be right at this marker right here. This will be the end all be all of our of our trade right here. Because and it makes sense because this is the higher high, this is the higher low, this is the higher high, and here's the higher low being created right now. Again, the scalper, the tool itself is playing on market structure. So until this particular structure is broken, I don't see the reason for us to get out right now at this particular moment. And this is where our risk management strategy comes into play because, hey, we know that, we certainly want to get out. We have our, for every $100, our lot size is adjusted by 0.01 to make sure we have enough of a strategy to protect what we have going on here. And again, we know when to enter, we know when to exit. So until I am proven the need to exit, we're going to stay right here. No, I don't tend to, what's the word I'm looking for? We've seen me take a loss in day 3 and day 4. And so this won't be any different if it happens, right? And for me to understand that, hey, I'm still up from when I started, right? We started at 100. That was our starting equity. And we're still up about 10% so far as we've gone to this drawdown. I'm okay. I am okay with understanding that, I haven't had a plan like this in the past and it's absolutely killed me. So understanding that, I will be okay with wherever this goes. And right now the arrow is telling me, hey, after this candle closes, you better get yourself ready for a buy trade, right? So we got about 1 minute until that happens. The hell, right? And not to get too religious, but hell is truth seen too late, right? If the truth is that this all came to an upside swing, we can't predict the market, right? But let's say it went up to an upward swing and I decided to close out at some point during this situation, even when my indicator said not to, then yeah, that's going to be hell for me because I knew I missed out. Now, it's not going to feel great if I the arrow disappears, right? And I ultimately have to close out these trades. But at least then I'd understand, okay, I'm going to go ahead and close them out the moment that it tells me to, because now I know the truth. I know the truth I knew the truth at the right time. And so I would go ahead and do that. So let's get into this buy trade. I'm already in, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Don't like when it does that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So let's clear all this out. Again, recap where we're at with the trades. We have 1. We had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 7 right here. So we're still here. We're still here doing this. If you stay in the market long enough, compounding works its magic, and you end up with a healthy return, even if your timing was hopelessly unlucky. This could be an unlucky situation right here, but we have to understand we have already grown this account about, at this point so far, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20%. Even if it came to the low point, I'm assuming it'd still be up 10% over 10 days, 1% a day. Name me something that does that. Name me. I want everyone to try and name me something that does that. The worst performing investor wasn't the unlucky one, but the one who stayed on the bench, the one in cash. He ended up with only less than the lucky and unlucky investor. No, far be it to say this could be an unlucky move for us, but again, we're where we started and where we're at right now on this journey. So going back to day 1, where day 1 started and where day 9 is right now. It's day 9, not day 10. Day 1 started, day 9 is right now. We're still up. And again, these trades I take full responsibility for. I don't blame the scalper. I don't blame the market. I know that I'm on these trades because I decided I was going to push the button. And it's in my disclaimer about responsibility and how I need to take responsibility for these trades. And that's super powerful to me. Knowing that I have the power right now, the power in me said, we're going to stay in this market until we need to get out. And we're going to accept the wins and we're going to accept the losses as they come. If you lose money in this market, we're losing money right now, even as we keep moving forward, we have lost some money in this market because of a decision I made. And when this turns around and we make money in this market, it's because of a decision I made. I determine whether I win or lose, and I'm in charge. I'm in charge of what's going on right now. I'm in charge of me staying in this market. I'm in charge of me waiting until the signal to get out. I'm in charge of all this. I'm not blaming the scalper. I'm not blaming the tools, because the tools have so far been able to produce something for me, right? I have been able, with the tools I have, to be able to produce the results I've been able to produce so far. So yeah, there's no other person to look at with these results and say, hey, this is somebody else's fault. No, this is my responsibility, and I'm okay with that. I'm very much perfectly fine with that. Be the one who stays in the game for the long haul, planting the right seeds, nurturing them patiently, and then reaping the harvest. And frankly, this is all we're doing right now, is that we're planting seeds. Because again, there's a strategy for what happens for an exit, one way or the other. And until that time of about 25 minutes from now, when I need to exit these particular markets, we're going to go ahead and do that. But it's also comforting to know that, we can see something like this because now we know it's real, right? As we could see the next candle right there. So that tells me that we're going to be looking for another buy trade scenario to get into at some point. But this is powerful if we think about it, because we know that there are times that we are going to be very successful in this market, and there are going to be times where we're not as successful. I'm going to get myself into, what's that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 trades so far that I'm in, 8 buy trades. And I, again, made the decision to push the button on each of these 5 decisions. I don't put all my onus on this machine right here, this piece of technology. I'm the one who pushed the button. And thus, I'm the one who makes the money and who loses the money. And as long as you get that, as long as you understand that particular paradigm, then you're about 1,000 steps ahead of any trader that comes before or comes after you. You have to be in control. You have to be the one that says, hey, I own the fact that I'm the one who put myself in this particular position. And it's a very, very, very comforting thought that we can go, okay, there we go. The arrow disappeared. So guess what? Guess what? I will go ahead and I will take my loss here. Super powerful. We're not going to wait forever for these markets to turn around on us. We could see that now the buy trend is most definitely over for us. So now we need to go ahead and do the proper thing and get out before it turns more ugly. And again, I'm not going to complain about what's going on right here. Some may look at this as a foolish mistake, and time will tell if this was not the greatest idea. But for me, I personally feel like I've done the right thing by staying. And I've stayed because I knew that I was still in the uptrend. And then the moment it said, Jordan, you're no longer in this uptrend anymore, well, that's when we left. That's when we said, okay, goodbye to this, goodbye to what we're doing right here. And we move forward. Now, I wonder, right? I wonder what will happen as we move forward to Monday, how all that is going to take place. But I'm certainly looking at what I'm seeing right here saying, oh, wow, I took a good loss. Maybe I should give up on this, right? No. Because I'm confident knowing that we made the right decision. I made the right decision in making this trade. However, I was wrong. The buy trend did not exist, and now it's turned into a bear trend. And now I can go ahead and just let this thing play out. I wait for the next opportunity, and that's fine. So let's take a look, right? Hey, we're going to be honest with ourselves on this journey. I've already mentioned before that not every particular day is going to be successful. So I was at 132 for the day, and now I'm down to about 103, 104. I don't know if I'll get another opportunity to trade, let's say, but I understand that I'm down 28 bucks. I'm down 28% from my original equity, but I protected it. It's still over 100. And I'm humbled enough, I'm grateful enough to show everybody that these losses can happen in the market. You're going to see this all play out on the stream when I upload it. I am not going to be the one that hides this sort of information. I don't think that's fair to anybody. You have to be comfortable with being able to see that there are going to be great days in this market for you. And then there are going to be days like this. And you're going to need to be able to process that all this happened, right? All this happened. and that we can move on. The strategy doesn't change, right? We keep doing what we need to do, and we keep going forward. Now, I'm going to stay here for the next 20 minutes, wait for a trade. If I don't see anything, then this will be the end of the recording. And you'll see that the market, or not the market, but I myself, right? The market didn't take the $28 away from me. It's not like that. I lost, if this is the end of this recording, I lost $28. And as long as I can say that with confidence that I lost $28 today on day 9, then moving forward, I can say with confidence that I have gained that money back. Right? Because we still have enough equity. We still have the fuel to fight another day. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just want to let everyone know that I am not going to place a trade anymore today. I figured I'd give an official confirmation rather than that ambiguous confirmation I made just a few minutes ago. But yes, we are not placing a trade anymore today. And so the results will stay where they are. We went from 132 down all the way to 103. So that would be about a $29 loss on our equity. Yet we are still prime in the game, ready for Monday's trading session. So once again, everybody, I thank you for watching this particular video. Do know that I am most definitely looking forward to a bounce back week this coming week, starting with Monday. And there's nothing to be afraid of. We've planted the trades. We've done the work. We take the responsibility for the trades, and we move forward on to the next day, which, of course, will be day 10. And so with that being said, everyone have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and happy trading.